Gentlemen, and welcome to the PHLY Eagles podcast. Wulf, Fran, Duffy, Zach Berman, presented by Bet365 and Ace Hardware Home Services. Download the Bet365 app and use code PHLY365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. And make sure that you visit AceHardwareHomeServices.com to get started on your next project. We are here in an empty Radio Row. Who else is working this late? Nobody, but we are. You know why? Because it was media night, and we've got a lot to talk about. It was not a well-run event, but that's okay.
No, it was not.
Because Zach Berman got the scoops. He got the tea. Fran, how you doing? We haven't seen you.
I know.
I haven't seen you in the flesh in way too long.
I know. It's been a long time, but I'm happy to be back. It's been a long couple weeks, but a fun couple weeks.
How much did you miss us?
A lot. I missed you guys a lot.
Shrine game.
Senior
Bowl.
Shrine Bowl. You got to get back into the Shrine Bowl.
I will never get that right.
Yeah, people will get upset by that one. Shrine Bowl.
Just because they call it opening night doesn't mean I have to call it opening night. It's media night.
They went to great lengths to graduate from Shrine game to Shrine Bowl. Pay them the respect that they are due.
Why is that better? Why is a bowl better than a game?
I don't know, because that's what they want.
Okay, Zach, how you doing?
I'm great. I'm so excited that we're all together again. Awesome few weeks from Fran. Appropriately, it has been in like 3 company memos since we saw him last. So yeah, I mean the Fran stock, the only stock that's better than Fran stock right now is the Vinny stock. Vinny
goodness
was working.
Gracious.
Yes.
Wait until you guys see the clips. Vinny was absolutely on fire at media night tonight. Very fun to watch. However, it was a really, truly, poorly, terribly run event. An absolute cluster. This is my 4th media night. And it has never been like this before. It was like they had the whole field sequestered off. Nobody could go on the field. And so it's like just the length of the sidelines around the perimeter. And it was like a total traffic jam. Like you couldn't move. It was terrible. You couldn't talk to anybody.
You know the scene in Game of Thrones where it's the Battle of the Bastards where Jon Snow and like everybody at the end is like all that's what that was for a good 25 minutes. It was terrible.
Julie and I were tethered together, and she's like holding onto my hood. I'm like, just follow me. I'm trying to get through here.
It was awful.
Yeah, it was really bad. But the good news is we have a lot to get to because Zach did the right thing, and
unbelievable.
Boy, are we grateful for our intrepid Eagles insider Zach Berman, who spent basically hours with Jeffrey Lurie, just getting the tea, talking about all those text messages that you guys exchange, the funny memes that you have. But you've got a lot of insight to give to us, Howie Roseman as well. But I do want to lead the show with what I think was the most important interview of the night, and that was I was able to catch up with Joe Panunzio about being mistaken for Vic Fangio in the wire services. Yes.
And what did he say?
He was aware of it.
Yes. Was he complimented? What was there?
He said, he thinks that what happens is they want to make Vic look better.
That's a good line.
This is their opportunity to do so.
That's a good line.
But then, we wouldn't be here where we are without Vic. He's like the biggest reason why we're here, all this stuff. But yeah.
Nice. That's great. That's
nice
good stuff.
My through line tonight, but Warriors okay, was basically asking guys, if the Eagles win this game, will Vic smile?
And what was the? Well, I don't want to give away.
Don't give it away.
Yeah.
Well, don't give away what looking's free, but touching's going to cost you.
I don't know how that's applicable to what we're talking about, but you go for it.
I missed you guys.
All right.
I missed you.
It's gonna be a long week.
I needed a buffer. It felt like
this is our only late night pod.
Felt too much like 2023. So yeah.
A super chat already from Salute to Jocko or Hako, who says, "Can you give us the top 5 active NFL players most hated by Eagles fans?"
Oh,
interesting. He mentions Frankie Louvu, Dre Greenlaw, Patrick Mahomes. Huh. I would say the Greenlaw is up there. See, the thing is, I think that most Eagles fans hate like Eagles related things more. Like they probably hate Matt Patricia more than they hate Frankie Louvu. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Is Carson up high on that list?
Carson's probably high on that list. Yeah. Let us know in the chat what you think.
Yeah.
Who else deserves
There's
to
a
be
Clowney
in
one.
there.
I thought I did
Clowney is a good
one. Yep.
Clowney is a very good one.
I just want to say, I'm not looking for a medal. I'm not looking for recognition. Okay, but if you ever doubt my commitment to the show, as opposed to like the reporting.
Mm.
Okay, no, that I bypassed the chance to talk to Carson Wentz tonight because I
Yeah.
thought it was important.
That's true.
I thought it was important that all of us are together for the show. This is. I'm not asking for that. I just want to be clear because sometimes it seems that allegiances are, that I'm always I want the extra time at this press conference. I knew it was important that we're all together tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate you doing that.
Absolutely.
That's good because otherwise we really wouldn't have much to talk about because we didn't get to we didn't get to see Jeffrey and you got the stuff. All right, let's get to it because you have a lot of newsy stuff from Jeffrey Lurie. And like you will be able to see some of the highlights of the press conferences of AJ and Jalen and all those guys, but they're also going to talk the rest of the week. As you told us today, this was your chance to get with Jeffrey.
Yeah, and I'll say there's a lot of like big picture stuff that is good for stories and perspective and like hear Jeffrey's insight. But as far as news, that's kind of what I will lean into. So,
is there something in his future involving a wee little leprechaun?
Okay, so the Boston Celtics,
little dribbling wee little leprechaun.
So, he said that, and I will pull up exactly what he essentially said that he's not looking to buy another sports franchise. Okay, and he did say,
but if he follows the rainbow, there might be a pot of gold.
All right, he said, I'm not interested in acquiring another sports team. I think it's connected because that's my childhood team. And then he went on to like praise the Celtics, like the amount of banners that we've raised, and how he views the Celtics as like a kindred soul to the Eagles. Like really speaking like lovingly about them. He said, but my focus is on my love of the Eagles and to win another Super Bowl for Philadelphia, and I'm obsessed. And so then it was followed up thereafter, like, wait, are you going to be part of so you're not going to be part of a group buying the Celtics, basically, or you are going to be part of a group buying the Celtics, yes or no? And he said, I don't expect anything really. I would never say never, but I'm not looking to own another sports franchise. The Celtics are exceptional. They're so well run. They're so talented. They're my childhood team. However, I do not expect that to happen. So there's a few ways you can interpret this. One, this was not going to happen, and it was just like his name was linked to it. Two, he was interested, but he's not going to get it. And so it's like, as Fran, I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, but Fran was like, it's like when Mike McCarthy took his name out of the Saints job, right? You're not going to get the job. So it's like, no, I'm not actually. It could be that. Or maybe there's nothing there. I thought you had really thoughtful things to say in your conversation with Sheil on Philly Special about this, and that like I didn't see a scenario where Jeffrey Lurie would be running the Boston Celtics. I do think he says like this is his life's work, the Philadelphia Eagles, and I think he's sincere when he says that. I've had that conversation with him enough over the years to know that's the case.
But it's he's not poo-pooing the report.
He
would
didn't say
like
the
to be
report was
involved.
wrong.
Right,
He just said he's not buying another sports franchise.
Don't envision that happening. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you read that between the lines that the McCarthy of it, that it's like
he's not getting
he
it,
wants to be in it, but he knows that he's not going to get it?
Yeah, or maybe he made a cut, but there's a price tag that he's not going up toward. Yeah, the bottom line is I don't, based on what he said tonight, I don't anticipate this happening. Also, when he said never say never, it's kind of like, well, maybe if the price comes down,
Right,
but,
it's a bit of a negotiation publicly.
Exactly, but no, he answered that twice, and then
because it's so impressive that they've won so many championships when their players are so short. Leprechauns.
Oh, I thought they were making fun of me there.
No,
yeah,
I would never do that.
Okay.
That's why they've lasted so long.
That's right. That's right. They've got the best stamina.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's one thing there. Regarding Sirianni's contract, Sirianni's entering the final year of his deal next year. He says in 30 years he hasn't talked about someone's contract, but he praised Sirianni. He's someone said to him, you once said Andy's your coach for life. I'm not expecting you to say that, but do you feel that way about Nick? And he said, yeah. He said,
really?
He basically said he expects Nick to be here in so many words. He was asked. So there were a few different things actually as doing this. I asked him at one point, what was your perspective of the team at the bye? And he said, I was talking to Bill Belichick about this once. he said, he literally started by, he's like, Belichick said that.
He texted Bill Belichick during the bye. You up?
No, he said
12 months ago.
He said Belichick said all the years they won, they were like 2-2. Okay. He said the first month of the year, you want to win games, but you're really not focused on that during the first month of the year. So he said he was very confident then. He was asked about Nick after the Cleveland game and like the way Nick comported himself, and he's like, it's like Nick's greatest strength and it's his greatest weakness. Something like that, talking about like the passion.
Yeah, doesn't mince words on that. You know how he feels about that.
But he really praised Nick for delegating the offense to Kellen. For Vic, he called Vic like a Jim Johnson type for the defense, and he said Nick's done really well there. So he had good things to say about Nick. Saquon. Well, I asked about the offseason that the Eagles had. I didn't frame it as Howie, but just kind of the offseason that they had. And I mentioned Offensive Player of the Year candidate, Defensive Player of the Year candidate, Rookie of the Year candidates. And he started actually by talking about the draft with that. And he said that never in his time have they had two players with equal grades and referring
to
the same position that high, Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. So he said when they just took Quinyon, they were...
Speaking of that high, I did notice that there were a lot of players tonight wearing sunglasses inside. Just putting it on the record.
Yeah, that's the look. That's the style.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's drippy, some kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. You need some drip to wear indoor sunglasses.
Or like a black eye.
Maybe. I mean, I just think it's part of the wardrobe. It's the accessory.
Okay.
So he.
Let's take a minute to talk about your wardrobe because you wanted to go home. You said this is going to be a jacket event for me.
Why are we getting into this?
Which to me, I thought you were going to go button down jacket, but you're going like Miami jacket. You're going
nice jacket.
You're going
the unstructured jacket.
The white tee jacket.
Yeah, this is something that I don't know. I don't know why we're getting into this.
We're here.
This is something that Emily has brought up to me recently. Is something she wants me to incorporate more when I wear the jacket.
The t-shirt jacket.
The t-shirt.
The nice t-shirt jacket. Yeah.
Yeah, to go with the t-shirt. She thinks it's I don't know, more flattering, less like just more casual,
Okay.
Yeah.
She's the drippy one.
She is exceedingly more stylish than I am. So absolutely. So this is something that she brought up, and I'm smart enough to know to listen to her.
I had the jacket on with the sea of humanity that we sat in for a little while. I sweat right through that bad boy. I had to take it off for the show.
Reminds me of a story my dad once did where he was a mascot for a day for the Brevard County Manatees, and the name of the mascot was Hugh Manatee.
I like that.
That's good.
Yeah, it's important to have humanity.
As opposed to being a sociopath? Like, I would agree.
Okay.
Didn't you say that you would outrun one of your friends to get eaten by a bear like a week ago? I've been listening to every episode when I was away, just so all of you know. I've been listening to every episode.
What'd you think of the draft?
That was not your finest work.
That's not what the commenters say. That's not what the commenters say. But Bo, just because Bo declares something doesn't make it
That is true. That I agree with.
Yeah, but he's smart enough to know that.
You said I have no offensive line. I had like 3 All-Pros on that offensive line, right?
Playing out of position.
No,
that was the flaw to the game, was that you guys should have done it the way that you were saying it. Yes, you should have done it that way. Yes, you should have done it the way that Zach said in the beginning of the game.
Yes. I was damned if I do, damned if I do, if I don't there. Anyways, Cooper DeJean.
And Quinyon Mitchell.
Yeah, so they were so determined to get Cooper DeJean, and he said that when the Rams traded up, they did not think DeJean would get to 32. When he got past 32, and this has been documented, we talked about this in the draft, they went to sleep saying they need to get Cooper DeJean. They thought they had the deal in place, and the Rams traded in front of them, and they were heartbroken. They thought it was going to be DeJean. It turned out to be Braden Fisk. So he talked about that. Then he talked about Saquon Barkley, and he said that they've always valued running backs. And he talked about all the running backs that they've had and that they've paid. He said there's a difference between value and replaceability, but they identified Saquon going back to when Saquon was coming out. Like, can you imagine if we could ever get this guy behind our offensive line? That's why he framed it. And then he talked about the value of paying Saquon, and he compared it to, he said a good reserve guard. I think he meant like a good right guard maybe, or a tight end. So he gave those two positions. Like,
Okay.
if it's reserve guard, I mean, there's not a lot of reserve guards making $13 million. But I understood the sentiment about tight end. So
I don't really agree with the value over replaceability thing though, because that's why they're less valuable. Now I understand.
Or the importance, maybe he used the term importance.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, maybe he didn't say value; he said importance.
Okay,
but yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah, because they do. You use a second-round pick on Miles Sanders. Like,
He said they've always viewed it as important.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah, going back to LaShawn and Westbrook, and so he was going on that whole path. Then with Zach Bond, he really gave credit to Howie and the coaching development that the Eagles have for that. So anyways. Let's get to some the juicy items here.
We will do that just after a word from our sponsors. We're going to talk about, after this break, whether a new stadium might be coming to Philadelphia.
The tease. Cowherd like tease.
Why are you going to say that? As if no one else in the world does a tease. We're going to keep talking. TrueMark Financial Credit Union. If all of that holiday shopping or Eagles or PHLY merchandise is leaving you with a credit card balance that's weighing you down, well, think about this. What if you could pay it off faster and with zero interest until 2026? It's true. Because TrueMark Financial is offering zero interest on balance transfers for 12 months. So all of your payments can go toward reducing your balance, not just covering interest. Here's the play. Transfer your existing balance from another institution to a TrueMark Financial Visa credit card and take advantage of this amazing offer. But hurry, you have to apply by February 28th, 2025. Whether you're interested in earning rewards, cashback, or simply prefer a low rate for everyday purchases, with TrueMark Financial you can choose the credit card that best fits your financial needs. Visit TrueMark.com/compare for full details and to apply today. TrueMark Financial, federally insured by the NCUA, equal opportunity lender, terms and conditions apply. All loans subject to approval. 3% balance transfer fee applies. Standard rates apply after the promotional rate.
We talk about Bet365 every day on the show, and the reason is because whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Bet365 has 90 million users worldwide. Bet365 live streams 780,000 events each year. They have early payout offers across NBA, NFL, NHL, and MLB. They pioneered live in-game betting. And Bet365 offers the widest range of games and markets available for live in-game betting across 78 sports. There's so many great parts at Bet365, including the football early payout offer. With the Bet365 early payout offer, you're a winner if your team goes up by 17 points with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. Download the app and use code PHLY365 when you sign up. Open your account. Win or lose. Breaking news from 365. New customers now get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up. Use the code PHLY365. Deposit $10 and place a bet for $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 or older and physically located in PA. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Super chat from Mike, who says, Zach does it all. A great reporter, writer, podcaster, truly a positionless journalist.
Well, positionless is cool. I appreciate that. Thank you.
You forgot the smiley emoji.
Fair. All right, Zach.
Yes. So I'm curious your guys' opinion on this, okay? So I asked Jeffrey Lurie about the South Philly Stadium complex and the Eagles' future in the stadium complex, and he started talking about how they were neutral all along, even when there was all that talk about an arena, and he kind of like poo-pooed that, the arena in the city. But then he said they have to focus on what's best for their fans and for Philadelphia. And he said he would really love to have a Super Bowl in Philadelphia. So that opened up so he said, so they'll have a decision to make soon. And he was asked what the timeline was. He said, well, their lease is through 2032. And then he was asked about his view on an outdoor stadium in the Northeast. And he says he likes cold weather games, he likes hot weather games, he likes snow games. He likes that, but he thinks that Philadelphia deserves a Super Bowl, Final Four, other great events, and that's something that they really need to think about here. So if you read between the lines, the headline for this is the Eagles want a dome.
How intimate?
Well, if they can get an arena like the Intuit Dome, they would be, or a stadium like the Intuit Dome, they'd be very fortunate. I mean, I don't know if they're going to pay what the Intuit Dome cost, but
I think it would be deeply, deeply embarrassing for the Eagles to have a dome. I really do. And I don't think there is anyone in Philadelphia who would trade having an outdoor football stadium for having a Super Bowl. I think that is an owner ego thing.
I think there are people in Philadelphia who would make that trade.
Well, sure.
I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent to it, I think. I don't think I have a strong opinion either way.
I think that sucks, man.
What if – so let me ask you this. Okay, I'm just brainstorming here. I don't know if this is something they would ever
never get the snow game?
Well, no. What if they built a retractable roof dome, a retractable roof stadium that they commit to keeping open no matter what during football season, but it also has the functionality to therefore host a Super Bowl or other events.
Right.
But they make they make a pledge that no matter the elements,
except for lightning.
Yeah, this will be open, but it can close for events that if there's a college football championship game, if there's Final Four,
Super Bowl,
the Olympics, maybe soccer soccer doesn't want to play in the rain, let's say, right? So what if that was part of an arrangement? Would you, or is it the principle of the dome, or it's preserving the outdoor games that objects you, or that you object to?
Yeah, I mean, I would be less objected. Now we're both messing up this word. I would not objectify that.
You would not object to that.
Yeah, I mean, I still just don't love a dome in Philadelphia, but I think that would be fine. But I don't think that's what they would do.
I mean, they wouldn't be building a dome for Eagles games. I think because just when you consider the cost, the amount of home games that they have, it doesn't.
What do you guys think in the chat? How angry would a dome make you?
And if you're not up at 11 o'clock back home in Philly right now, and you're watching this in the morning, please leave your opinion in the comments.
Yes.
Because I'm curious what you think. I genuinely want to know what the audience
Benjamin
thinks.
says, I'm putting it on the record that I would absolutely hate a dome. How else will I be able to buy playoff snow?
It's a valid point.
Great point. And but the flip side to that is you got to walk this down. That's how they're going to pay for the dome, is upcharging that.
Well, let me ask the audience this: do you want is having the Super Bowl in Philly?
Everybody so far in the chat anti-dome.
Having the Final Four in Philly, having different events that are indoors that require a concert with 70,000 people. Is that important to you?
No.
What about you, Fran?
I think that I'm of two minds on it, because I do think that I agree with what you're saying, Bo, in that the sanctity of the outdoor weather games, that there is something romantic about that with the game.
It's about tough football. Come on.
I think there's something to be said for that, but I also think as a Philadelphian, I think it would be cool to have I do think it'd be cool to have a Super Bowl. I do think it'd be cool to be able to successfully host a Final Four and things like that, where it feels like
successfully as if
no, and because they've put a bid in to get those kind of events, and it feels like you make it to the final list, that final cut, but don't get that push over the goal line. Whereas I think that would be very cool to be able to host that kind of event. So I kind of go both ways on it. I do agree when you're
trading you're trading every single football season for one Final Four. I don't know.
Well,
that doesn't seem worth it.
You said that the chat overwhelmingly was anti-dome. As Zach was going through the retractable dome scenario, a lot of people liked that idea. Yes.
Yeah, but I don't believe that that's what they would do.
I don't either. I believe in finding compromises.
Right.
So I think if the objection, because I do think they wouldn't.
Because even if it was retractable, I don't believe that they would make that commitment to, like,
I
if
just
it's
don't
raining,
think
they would probably close the dome.
I don't think they would build a dome for the 3 Eagles games a year that might be affected by snow or really cold weather.
Sure, the purpose of it would be for events.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
right.
that's my point. Is that if they say on one hand this is part of playing football in Philadelphia, on the other hand this is then I think that's the medium. But from my understanding, a retractable dome is a retractable roof is considerably more expensive than the fixed roof, and the trend now is more like the translucent roof that makes you feel outside but you're actually indoors.
Yeah.
But that doesn't help you with snow or weather. Yeah.
Just faking and lying to people like every other thing that's going on in the world. Super chat from Chase Daniel Plainview, who says, I think the Eagles winning the Super Bowl will make me happy, but I am nervous that I'll still feel empty even with a win. Fran, how can I be truly happy?
Well, I mean, you've experienced both sides of the coin in the last 7 years. I think that I can't help you, CDP. Just keep sending those super chats and see if you can find that happiness.
Yeah, I do believe that now Zach reads a lot of these books, and so I think he's come across this, that one of the keys to happiness in life is spending more money on super chats.
I'd be disingenuous if I said that's the case, but it certainly increases our happiness. So, yes.
Okay. So you don't everything that Jeffrey talks about with relation to this thing that is a decade down the road, or not quite, it's a little bit of posturing, don't you think?
In what sense? Like for public money? For
yeah, or he knows that the lease is coming up. There would have to be some negotiation with the city, like.
Well, that's the thing is that even if it's down the line, it takes a good 6 to 8 years to plan and construct, or let's say 5. The Sixers, they were all along. They were talking about 2031. This deal with Comcast in South Philly accelerated it so they can build it in 2031. We're already in 2025. So the Eagles
we're in the future.
No, so I'm saying so the Eagles are only 1 year behind that.
2025. Jeez.
The Eagles are only 1 year behind that. So this is something that I imagine. Like this wasn't just. People. I imagine this wasn't just something Jeffrey said off the top of his head. I imagine this is a conversation that they are having about the future of the
That's
city.
what I mean. I think it was intentional.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I do think if he didn't feel this way, it's the easiest question to say. You know what? We're at the Super Bowl. We'll meet in March at the owners' meetings. You guys can ask me about this then.
Yeah.
But
imagine all the people sitting in a dome.
Look, I think it'd be cool.
Just let him go.
Me,
there's no snow. Go ahead.
He'll break eventually.
So Philadelphia is the best sports city in the country. Okay, I feel strongly about that. I will pound the table for that. Okay,
There's nobody else here. There's no one else doing a show.
Yeah, I'm with Jeffrey in this. Like, why? There should be a Final Four. There should be.
I agree.
They had a WrestleMania.
These great events. Now, I don't see why you can't have the Final Four in a 20,000 seat arena, right? But I get that for your ticket sales.
I don't care at all about a Final Four.
What if Wake Forest was in it?
But it wouldn't matter to me where it was.
Look, it brings people to the city. You're in New Orleans right now because there's a Super Bowl, right? Think about all the restaurants that you're eating at, all the hotels that people are staying at. I was talking to Oscar what the price of his hotel is this weekend, and it's like
you're always just trying to make sure that you got the best deal.
It's not at all. No, we were just.
He knows. He's been
we were lamenting the fact that this.
You make him sweat.
Oh my gosh! You got to. When we checked into the hotel yesterday. Now this Zach did an unbelievable job with this hotel. He booked these. He was scouring in like July. This is like a long-term stay rate. Then we've got these great rooms. It's a great deal at a good hotel, and we're checking in. And Zach is done checking in. He's very proud. He's hooked us up. He's done, the guy gives him his room key and says room whatever. And before Zach goes, he goes, "Oh, is this a good room?"
You know what? Because I was doing, what I was doing in that moment? I was empowering the employee. I was making him feel like his opinion is valued by me. Like this.
As if he stays in every room in the hotel.
He knows this is what he does. He checks people into rooms.
It's like the waiter recommendation for what he gets to order for dinner.
It's worse. It's worse. It's a different level for that.
He knows the room. He told me when I checked in, you have a river view. Okay, you're facing the river. I said it's a nice room. He said, yeah, you're facing the river. You have a window overlooking the river. I mean, it's like he knew all about the room. So yeah. But
is this a good room? Did I do a good job?
No, it's not. It's not that I do a good job. It's that you know what I think his name was Damon or Damon. That I am like, this is not just you giving me a key and I value your opinion. I value this interaction that we have. I'm asking you what you think. I think that's what people want. They want to be heard. They want to be recognized.
I don't agree with that.
Zach wants that experience to happen to a hotel clerk in Philadelphia for the thousands of people that would come to a Super Bowl and a Final Four.
Seriously, yeah. Think about all the restaurants. It's that. So I genuinely, it's great for the city. You think about the big events that we've had. The convention, the Pope visit. I know the World Cup's coming next summer. Like, this is huge for Philly.
The Ospreys.
If we can fill a stadium, that'd be wonderful.
Yeah, that'd be great. All right, take our second break. Back with more. Zach has more Jeffrey Lurie notes. He's got Howie Roseman notes. And Fran really didn't do anything tonight.
No.
All right. We're going to talk to you about our friends at Glatt Hair Restoration. The Morgan Stern Center for Orbital and Facial Plastic Surgery recently welcomed the Glatt Group to the practice, creating an invaluable opportunity to leverage Dr. Glatt's high-caliber brand equity and begin an exciting chapter in Dr. Morgan Stern's highly respected legacy. Now, the name is Glatt Hair Restoration by Morgan Stern Medical, part of the Morgan Stern Center, and it's under the direction of renowned plastic surgeon Dr. Ken Morgan Stern. It is the same peerless approach to care, the same expert team, the same unmatched Glatt system, same state-of-the-art location, same stellar results. Each member of this exceptionally trained team brings 30-plus years of industry experience. Hair restoration is all they do. If you are in the market for some hair restoration, there's only one place to go, the experts at Glatt. Glatt Hair isn't just about restoration, though. It's also about innovation, and their breakthrough treatments really do dramatically change lives. Change your hair, change your life. Bald is now optional. If you want to improve how you look and how you feel about yourself, Glatt Hair has the right treatment for you. Regain your confidence. Visit glatthairmctr.com or call 610-980-4000 to get started.
Let's now hear from our friends at Ace Hardware Home Services, because we know they've got the best jingle under the sun. Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. Well, look, we know that there are more than just that now. If you've got a leaky pipe at Ace Hardware Home Services, they are around the block with everything that you need to fix it, including the person to do the fixing. If you've got an air conditioning issue, they've got a person for that. If you've got a faucet that you said you were going to fix back in the fall, they've got a person for that too, because now they are not just the helpful hardware folks. They are also the helpful home service and repair folks. From plumbing to heating and cooling, they've got the trusted pros to keep your home humming all year long. Ace Hardware Home Services, they are bringing helpful home, the helpful you love, from the store now to your front door. Visit Ace Hardware Home Services online at www.acehardwarehomeservices.com to get you started on your next project.
Super chat from Zay Reviews, who says, Zach is tripping. Why do you want rent to be $2,000 a house?
What's this regarding? Like,
well, you want to bring all these events. You're going to be raising the rent prices.
I mean, that's
well, what's this regarding?
That's not the intention, but events would stimulate. Look, it would stimulate the local economy. Like
that's not like a proven thing.
That events stimulate the local economy.
Yeah.
If
what is this regarding?
All right. Let me tell you some other things. So here's one thing I can tell you. The Eagles will not give up a game in Lincoln Financial Field to play in Australia in 2026.
Oh, no.
So there's this report out that the Eagles and Rams will play there in 2026. Jeffrey Lurie said the Eagles are not giving up a home game. They would be welcome to play there. They're the international, that they have the international rights there, but they're not giving up a home game to play against the Rams. They gave up a home game to play in Brazil. The cycle now resets for like eight years. Although I did see today that Roger Goodell said the goal is eventually to have 16 international games.
Yep.
So it's going to be more. It's going to be fewer than 8 years. Teams are going to have to play there basically every other year. Or give up a home game every other year. But it certainly sounds like whatever that report was, maybe doesn't have the Eagles and Rams like locked down because. What?
I'm just working through an Australian accent in my head.
I
would say premature. That's not correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
So what are your thoughts on that?
As soon as the news came out, Meg texted me immediately and was like, "I want to go." So
it's a great country.
Yeah. I think it'd be fun, it'd be exciting. I gotta imagine the logistics around that would be nuts. I know what the logistics were like. The Eagles sent a contingent down for draft weekend. This spring, Jordan Mailata was down there. They had, marketing folks down there, and people from the entertainment, side of things. And I mean, just that alone was crazy, and trying to get things timed up. And so I imagine trying to get the entire team down there and get them acclimated and then reacclimated coming back would be pretty crazy.
Yeah, my guess is the way they would do it is that they would play a team at the West Coast. Okay.
Right.
So they'd have back-to-back road games. And so you play, let's say, the 49ers or the Rams or the Chargers or the Seahawks, whoever it is, right? You play that team, and then from there you fly to Australia, you spend the week in Australia, and you come home for a bye week. So basically you're not halfway there, but you're already, and so you're already in California.
Yeah.
And then you go from California to Australia.
It's interesting.
Is my guess.
Okay.
Is how logistically they would do that.
Yeah.
What are you laughing at?
Idiot Sandwich in the chat said, "I'd like to ask a hotel clerk in Australia if they gave me a nice room. It'd feel good to put empower the employee."
You know what? I actually have I have done that. I have done that. I remember the hotel specifically in Australia. I remember my roommate was from Gary, Indiana. Nice guy.
Maybe the dingo ate your Gary.
No. He went to, is it Lincoln University? I think it is. Nice guy. He was my roommate on that trip. But we checked into the hotel, and I was handling the check-in, and I said, is it a nice room? Or, what can you tell me about the room? I think I said that. What can you tell me about the room? And they were very pleasant. They told me exactly what the room was like, and it was very nice.
Did it have a bed?
It had 2 beds.
A bathroom?
Yeah, the Australian bathroom is different, but yeah, they had a bathroom.
Flushes the other way.
Yeah, it goes the other way.
Is it, okay, yeah, I remember remarking that it was different. Yeah.
Okay.
So someone asked in the chat.
Check Dome. Check Australia. Check Saquon.
Someone asked in the chat about if Jeffrey commented on the way the Eagles' offense was this year as a run-first offense. I did ask Jeffrey that, and he said that he's never had a problem with running the ball, and he thinks you need to be able to do both. And he said if you run the ball well, he said if you're a good running offense, you should have a good passing offense. If you have a good passing offense, you should have a good running offense. But he said people have been criticizing the passing game when they've needed to pass this year, and he referenced Pittsburgh and he referenced Washington. They were able to pass both those games.
I feel like it's like I'm okay with the run game as long as it means that we have a good passing game.
Sure.
That's what that reads to me.
Yeah, I think he knows that passing in general is a more efficient thing. But like if you have the best running game in the league, you don't have to pass to spite your run game.
When he spoke about Jalen Hurts, he said Jalen Hurts has the clutch gene. That's how he described Jalen, as having the clutch gene.
You're gonna hear a lot of that if he plays a good game on Sunday.
By the way, he also has the clutch gene when he plays pool in the locker room. You can check that out on PHLY.com.
There's another coward-like tease.
It was as I'm thinking about it. So Nick Wright, okay, for now at Fox, for Fox Sports 1, we used to work the college radio station together.
Flex.
One summer, he had me listen to he assigned me to listen to a tease every single day on ESPN Radio. He wanted me to listen to Colin Cowherd's teases and Eric Casillas' teases. And he said, because he gave me a list of things I need to work on my show that summer. He said I had to work on my teases. So my teases were too serious or something, or too literal maybe. So I had to work on my teases. So it was always like, when we come back, I'm going to tell you why Jim Boeheim reminds me of
man, I can't believe
of like June in.
I'm so proud of myself for not saying what I wanted to say.
Or let's say, or no, why Greg Robinson reminds me of my third grade teacher.
It's too late.
Something like that.
That's what he wanted to improve on, or that was the good version.
No, I had to work on like that kind of thing. It wasn't like when you come back, we're gonna be talking about why the Syracuse basketball team is not gonna make the NCAA tournament. It had to be like it was more like why this Syracuse basketball team reminds me of like when you take your car to the dealership or something like that.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah.
Your third grade teacher reference there reminds me that one of the through lines of questions I tried to do tonight, which was just okay, was like who's your Joe Shane? Like who's the person in your life who doubted you? And the best answer that we got was from Johnny Wilson, who shouted out his fourth grade teacher, Mrs. Moore, who told him he was developmentally challenged at a fourth grade level. And he was not reading well enough.
I hope he didn't laugh.
And he's like, I said, read this, Mrs. Moore, SUPERBOWL.
And did he appreciate that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I love that. I love
you said it was the successful.
I love that he's been holding that one for this long. That's so good.
Poor Mrs. Moore though, watching our show. Yes.
I know.
Yes.
Listen, there's bad teachers out there.
That is like a Shield level grudge right there.
I love that.
Yeah. What else?
Well, the rest you're gonna have to wait and see.
Okay. Yeah.
But that was the best one.
I'm excited for this. Did you ask anyone if they pee sitting up or standing down?
No, but someone, a good friend of the show, did text me as we were there to ask you whether you ever poop standing up.
Someone asked you to ask me that? Of course not. That's like the weirdest thing. Yeah.
Well, if you're not going to do one, maybe you do the other.
No, the seats. Okay. First off, the human body is not designed to poop standing up. Okay, so yeah.
It's true that happened.
Okay. Who did it?
I'll give you. We'll play 20 questions.
Sheil.
No.
EJ.
No. You're gonna be blown away.
Coach Flynn.
No.
Brendan Quinn.
Have you ever
played? Fourth guess.
That's pretty good.
BQ's the man.
Yeah.
Awesome writer and reporter.
The best.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you see why.
How about your I don't want to say your first media night on the other side, but how was it? Because I'll say this, Chris McPherson, all our friends, Chris McPherson, he was interviewing Jeffrey Lurie from inside the ropes, right?
Oh,
so he was inside the fence
nice.
area, right? he wasn't like, at the zoo, he was inside the cage, so to speak.
Well, it was cool. It was, look, this is the first time I've gotten to see a lot of people that I worked with for a long time, so that was fun. I went in with the idea. I've never been to an opening night, to a media night, right? So the previous 2 times the Eagles were in the Super Bowl and I was an employee of the team, I was still in Philadelphia during this portion of the week. I knew it was going to be a zoo. It was way worse than I thought it was going to be.
This is the worst. It shouldn't be this bad.
It was bad. I had goals going in on questions I was going to ask to certain players, and I just didn't get the volume that I was hoping to get. So I had a good conversation with Clint Hurt.
Nice.
We talked about Jalen Carter and his development. So basically what I was going for was the development of college players going into the NFL. So I had a couple good conversations, but nothing that I feel like I'm going to be able to write through. But the one thing that, as Clint Hurt and I were talking, was the stunt that Jalen called a couple weeks ago, in the playoff game with Nolan Smith. He said, I've been kind of pushing for Jalen to show more confidence to be able to make those kinds of calls in situations like that.
Great.
So I thought that was a good nugget, from Clint Hurt. But
a little nuggy nug.
Yeah, a little nuggy nug. Milton Williams talked about his development and just the, trying to find that it's a balance of mental and physical, like the technical side of things as well. So, and Clint Hurt talked about that at that end of it as well. So it was some good conversations. It was good. It was crazy, and I know in the chat everyone's saying like the broadcast was a nightmare too. So
really?
It sounds like everybody kind of felt it, but it was a good night. It was a fun night.
Zach, you also have comp picks on here.
Oh yes. So Jeffrey was speaking about how they always plan in advance. Okay, and he was talking about the camp.
Coming up after this, we're going to find out why Jeffrey Lurie says the Eagles will not be active in this year's free agency.
Yeah, so he said, like, we know we're going to have more comp picks in 2026, which would indicate that they're expecting high price players.
Coming up after
to leave.
this, we're going to tell you why the Eagles' free agent activity will remind you of an incel.
So that they're gonna. So I don't know what you're referring to there. So it sounds as if they're expecting high price players to leave in 2025. So we spoke to Les Bowen, who's here, by the way. He's gonna be writing for PHLY.com. He'll come on the show. We spoke about which players they might re-sign, which players they might not. It certainly sounds like the Eagles are prepared. As I said the other night, the Eagles are prepared to make tough decisions this offseason. I've been hearing that pretty consistently. Like, it's one of those things where I think there's going to be like behind the scenes talking point is like, we're not able to keep everybody, number one, and then we're not able to go out and be huge spenders either, number two. So I think because part of that too is the comp pick formula, right? And I think they recognize that this is going to be a different type of offseason.
Tangentially, there was the news that came out. I believe it was Adam Schefter that broke it, that Josh Sweat changed agents, switched over to Drew Rosenhaus. So
what'd you make of that?
Could be related.
Well, I think last offseason did not go the way Josh Sweat wanted. Clearly, he came back on a reduced number.
Yep.
So we were at the Super Bowl last year where I thought Josh Sweat would go for like a 2, right? And clearly that was not the market, and so I've been hearing the past month or two that Sweat's going to have a big market, and I would imagine he's expecting that by virtue of him changing agents.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I'll be interested to see how big the market is.
Me too.
Because he's kind of cooled off a little bit down the stretch again, so it's 2 years in a row.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't want to give you like more work, right? I mean, you're already the hardest working person in the company right
let's
now.
Not go.
But well, no, Joey works exceedingly hard too. And Chris, everyone, look, we're the only 4 people. Sorry, and Bo, and Bo,
and Damon.
What the hell? Sorry, and Bo. Look, we're all here right now. Okay, I don't know I don't know how much free agency work you've done, but this is a really bad free agency class. So if you're a team like the Arizona Cardinals, you're a team like the Carolina Panthers, you might be more inclined to pay Josh Sweat because there aren't really edge rushers on the market who you're going to pay.
That's true. I do think that is also going to be affected a little bit by the fact that the edge group in this draft is pretty strong. So when you look at that, there might be a little bit of effect there. I want to look at what that whole group looks like. I don't know. That would be a scary bet for me if I were another team. Especially knowing like the priority the Eagles place on getting those guys locked up, and if the Eagles weren't willing to pay, if I were another team, I would be a little bit wary.
Absolutely, especially knowing what they value.
Yeah.
So speaking about edge rusher, Jeffrey was speaking about Nolan Smith and said like people were writing him off after year one. We didn't even care about his first year. He's like we think long term, but he said actually a funny anecdote is he said when the Eagles were on the board at pick 31 in 2023, the Kansas City Chiefs tried trading up, and Howie asked Brett Veach, "Is this an offensive player or a defensive player that you're going after?" And Brett Veach wouldn't answer. And they found out that they were both interested in the same player. And that player, of course, the Eagles took Nolan Smith. The next pick, the Chiefs took
Felix Anudike-Uzomah from Kansas State, who was
same position, similar type of player. Felix is a little stronger, but
yeah. I had him graded as a backup. That would have been a huge if the Eagles had traded down and taken. I don't know that they would have taken. My guess is they wouldn't have taken Uzomah. That would have been that was a huge swing there in terms of how I viewed the players.
All right, Zach, let's move on because I was sleeping throughout the whole.
Guys,
I actually went back to the hotel.
I was getting
since
to
I wasn't there and doing anything.
I was getting to you. I was going Julia, then Chris, and then I was getting to you. I was saving the best for last. Bro.
You didn't get there.
You started laughing before I got there.
No. No. Rewind the tape.
I will.
You were not going to save me. You were not going to save me.
Absolutely
not. Not until it came to your attention that you had skipped over me.
So Howie Roseman, I got like 20 minutes of or 15 minutes of Howie Roseman in. I did ask Howie Roseman. I brought up you and Sheila had such a good show. And one of the things you guys were talking about is something that you and I
wanted to do that instead of any real work.
Best
for my own company.
I did not say that. Although I did not appreciate some of the things that were always said about. You were right about me on the bidet thing.
I know I was.
Yeah. But there were so many things I took so many notes on the show about things I just disagreed with.
About you?
Well, just like the way you guys framed things sometimes, where I wish I could have had a voice in there to speak up on.
Weren't you listening when you were driving?
Yes.
How'd you take notes?
Like mental notes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. What's the top of mind?
Actually, the James Bradbury conversation. I like really pushed back in the car on the James Bradbury thing.
Push back in the car?
Yeah.
On what? I don't on what?
Basically, it was like, hey, CTC,
Well, that's a Shield thing.
Yeah, but you were playing into it. Like, he just goes, works. You said
I'm a guest on a show.
You said he's probably like
so I'm trying to.
I was kind of envious of how good you were. You just kind of like agreed. Yeah. Also, Cliff made the same point about Josh Harris that I did. You didn't even push back at Cliff at all on that.
Well, yeah,
you were like,
I'm not gonna
you made me seem. You tried to bring our entire audience against me to the point that I had to apologize the next day. Cliff makes like a very sound point. Cliff's
I'm not going to do that to Cliff.
Yeah. I was shocked that was Cliff's stance.
Yeah, but you did not push back at Cliff at all on that. Whereas you like,
the same
I was like rolling over in bed and like this audience thinks that I just am supporting Josh Harris when I was anyways. But here, in all sincerity, okay, there's this idea that like James Bradbury, he's getting paid. He should just be happy. I think back, I saw this over.
I was disappointed he wasn't there tonight, or I didn't see him.
I didn't see him.
Yeah, I was hoping to see him too. There was this David Remnick interview with Jerry Seinfeld a few weeks back, where like Jerry Seinfeld was saying that like, nothing better. There's nothing better in life than like a skill, right? Than like mastering a skill. And he said like money's nice, it's fine, but he's like it's mastering the skill that really matters. And like there's there's like this Bruce Springsteen line.
It's a nice thought, but it's also something that can only be said by someone who is extremely wealthy.
But no, there's like this Bruce Springsteen line. It's actually in Seth Wickersham's book. I believe it's like the front quote in the book, but he said like, more than rich and more than famous and even more than happy, I just want to be great. Okay, and so you think about these concepts like. These guys are the best at what they do in the world.
I actually agree with you about James Bradbury on that front.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that he's having fun.
Yes.
I think that he would like to be out there playing.
Exactly.
I agree with that.
Okay. So when I heard that, it's like, yeah, James Bradbury loves playing football.
That's the Shield lens of it. That's just.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. That's where I would. So you said, I would have liked to be in that conversation to kind of give that perspective.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So
people
what's the deal with liking to do a skill? Have you ever met an unhappy blacksmith?
I mean, you can really learn a lot from Jerry Seinfeld's interviews. Like, take away the comedy, like the interviews. He's very insightful about
cancel culture.
No, about like finding like joy in what other people see as misery, and like the pursuit of greatness, for lack of a better term, is I would recommend listening to his podcast interviews, things like that. I would love to have him on the show one day.
Sure.
Yeah, that'd be great if you can hook that up.
Sure.
In your free time. Yeah. You're not working on anything else.
Yeah, because I'm not doing anything. I'll spend next week in the office just trying different ways to email or just jerryseinfeld@gmail.com. That's it for me. Thank you very much.
I can't wait to watch that back later.
All right.
What did Howie say?
So anyways, thank you for getting us back on course. I asked Howie because he was talking about GMs he admires in other sports, and he said R.C. Buford's like the standard to him, and he spoke to R.C. Buford last week, and I said actually about R.C. R.C. graduated. I used the term graduate. R.C. graduated the CEO. Like, R.C. Buford's not the GM of this person anymore. He's the CEO of this person. So I said, do you think you'll get to a point where you're going to want something more than this? Like, you're going to want, some job beyond being a GM. And he said that he loves this. He loves watching. He gave an anecdote when we spoke to him on Saturday that his wife was like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm watching the Shrine practice and the Senior Bowl practice.
He came back from his son's basketball game.
Yeah. He said he loves like putting a team together and all that goes into this. And so he said he's not looking for more. And I've always been curious too about that with Howie, because like Howie's I've been around Howie for 13, 14 years. I've really tried to think about him more than he probably feels comfortable knowing. And so I've always thought like what's next for him, right? And I think and the way he kind of framed it is like what's next for him is the next Super Bowl. Because he said, I asked him at one point, he's turning 50 in June. I said, what would 34-year-old Howie Roseman think of, 49-year-old Howie Roseman? And he said that he said 34-year-old Howie Roseman would be a lot more excited. He said, because he thought you just win a Super Bowl. And then and then he won a Super Bowl, and he's like, you have to win another Super Bowl. And so it's interesting framing for Howie, and I'm going to intersperse that into a Howie story.
Thanks for watching on Fast, by the way. We'll probably have a couple more minutes on allphly.com if you want to catch that.
If Bo's up for it.
Yeah, because I mean, I've done my work for tonight, so I can't be. I don't get paid.
Am I ever gonna live this down?
No, you're in trouble on that one.
Okay.
I almost think it's similar to like when you talk with like Doug Peterson about the play calling aspect of it, and it's like that is what he loves so much about the job, about coaching, and like to move past that. It's like you're giving up the thing that you love most about it. And I feel like with Howie, the team building aspect of it, that is what gives him the most juice. I can definitely buy him saying that.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Anything else on Howie, Zach?
Howie, I was because for Jeffrey, I was right there, right in front of him. When I left Jeffrey at the 35-minute mark, I couldn't get close. And now Howie was being nice. Howie was moving along to get the look to so he could get to different questions. But there were a lot of them where I couldn't hear, so I have to listen back to the recording. But those were two that jumped to mind.
Last thing I have here is Jeffrey really gassing up Fangio.
Yeah, good point. Thank you, Bo. Is he said that
I wrote down some words on here, so that's pretty
best
good.
host in the city.
He is the best host since I've been on record multiple times saying that.
That's interesting because you don't equate hard work to.
Bo, come on.
Go ahead.
He said that Vic Fangio is like their Jim Johnson, and he really credited Nick for the autonomy that he gave the coordinators this year. But he said, and then he even said, and Fangio's the guy we really wanted to hire last year. He's like the timing didn't work out. Poor Sean Desai, just keeps, it's like
it is like the potential Super Bowl path could go. Sean Desai, Brian Johnson, Carson Wentz is very funny. Of like, guys who Carson's a little bit different, but just like got the dirt shoveled on them on the way out, like for reasons not always they're doing.
Yeah,
Carson's a little different, but
there's no Packer that fits. I guess not.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I can't think of one.
Or even the coaching staff.
In your free time, you'll find it.
Yeah. Go ahead, Zach.
I'm good.
Oh, there was something else on.
On
Fangio.
Yeah, it was mainly that part of it. Just how he compared him to Jim Johnson and Jim Schwartz, and he spoke about how they wanted him a year ago.
Is it really no ex-Eagle?
On the Packers? Andre Dillard.
Andre Dillard. That's actually perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go. Super chat from Brandon, who says, Zach, who is your Dominican barber? Tight fade, playa?
Yeah, so he's not Dominican, I don't believe. But shout out to Jeff at Fade Factory. Jeff does a great job.
Fade Factory?
Yeah.
Wow.
Jeff does a great job.
No wonder they got you. Feels like it's like technology for a fade.
He did this one now. He did this one. So yeah, credit to Jeff.
I know why, but you are so cryptic about did this one.
Yeah, Jeff did a good job.
Oh man.
Bo tried on a piece of technology today that he was really a big fan of.
What's that?
Do you want to share? The glasses?
Oh, those are cool.
He was very much into Vinny's.
I was not that into them.
Oh, you were very into it.
What kind of glasses?
The glasses, the Meta,
Oh, he has those?
Yeah, he's had them all tonight.
Oh.
You all right? Does anyone have any water? A cigarette?
I've always wanted to see those. Oh man. Okay.
Yeah, Vinny's got them.
Yeah.
He was wearing them all night.
I've read about them. They were at the CES convention like I think 2 years ago. But I've never seen them in the flesh.
Wow.
I
feel vindicated because Vinny was like, "Oh, Bo would really like these," and I was like, "No, Zach would really like them." And he was like, "Bo, no, I think Bo would really." And Bo would put them on. He's like, "Oh wow, these are really cool." And I was like, cool. "What is going on right now?"
It is cool. Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's a Zach thing all the way.
Oh yeah, like they take photos for you.
Video, and it was like crazy quality. Yeah, really impressive.
Yeah, good stuff. That's awesome. Good job, Vinny. I'm so pumped Vinny's here.
Vinny.
I am so pumped Vinny's here as part of PHLY and the ALLCITY network. I can't wait to watch what we put together. Shout out to Chris over there.
Shout out to Chris over there.
Right past Bo.
Yeah.
Working hard.
How's your room, by the way?
What's that?
How's your room?
Room's good.
Okay, did you ask?
I didn't ask. No. They did ask if I wanted the river view, and I was like, no, I'm good.
Nice. All right. I think we can wrap this bad boy up. We're going to be back 2 more times tomorrow. 2 o'clock Eastern, and then I think 6 o'clock Eastern is our plan. Now, tomorrow, Zach, Eagles availability conflicts with our show schedule, and it's the availability where it's like just 9 people.
I will tell you exactly who it is tomorrow too. So fans, listeners, readers can get prepared for who it is, or I'm sorry to hear who's speaking. So it is obviously Nick Sirianni at 1:40, and then after that, so that's 1:40 Eastern time. Then at 1:55 to 2:30 is Jalen Hurts, Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata, Zach Bond, Reed Blankenship, Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, Josh Sweat, and Nolan Smith. Now,
interesting.
In the chat, and then when you watch tomorrow, please, who do you want to hear from in this group, and what do you want to hear about in this group? Because I have some stories that I'm working on, but not specifically to these guys on this list. So tomorrow's the day when I have a chance to talk to more of these guys.
You want to play an impromptu game?
Sure.
I couldn't get any teammates together tonight. Maybe we'll do it later on this week. But you want to play a little game of Tableau?
Sure. It's been a while.
Who's going to start the clock?
So just explain to me the rules of the game.
It's like Taboo. I got to tell you. I got to describe the person, but I can't say the name or the thing.
Okay.
Okay. Let's start. Let's get a. I'll do 30 seconds. We'll see who can get the most. I got to get a clock.
I'm sad that you couldn't get teammates to play.
Well, we're gonna try to do it on Wednesday, Thursday.
Why it was too loud or too?
No, nobody was standing together. It was too tight. It was never possible. All right, Julia, count me in. 30 seconds.
She's gonna add it into the stream.
So I'm giving you clues.
I'm giving you clues.
Oh, okay.
And you guys have to guess.
Are we going back and forth?
We're all working together.
Okay.
As we should be.
I think I'd be good at this game.
Okay.
Okay, you ready? Count us in. Best quarterback on the Eagles.
Tanner McKee.
Thank you. Defensive coordinator.
Vic Fangio.
Running back.
Saquon Barkley.
Women's basketball player from Iowa.
Caitlin Clark.
Cooper DeJean tackled this running back.
Oh, Derrick Henry.
Slim Reaper.
DeVonta Smith.
Sack Tom Brady might play in this game.
Brandon
Graham.
Casey's favorite thing. Pikachu.
Pokemon.
Cowboys pass rusher. Okay. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, not bad. I've seen this one, so I won't guess on the first one.
All right. Well, here. No, I'll just pick. I can mix it up, right?
Yeah, you can mix it up.
Okay.
Okay. Ready? 3.
Okay.
2.
Oh, I know all of these, so.
Oh, true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right. All right. 3, 2, 1.
All right. One of the landmarks here in the city. You got to go visit. It's a nighttime spot.
Bourbon Street.
Yep. Commissioner of the NFL.
Roger Goodell.
The GM of the Giants.
Joe Shane.
ESPN personality, loudmouth. You don't want to listen to anything he says. This isn't going to be good for you. Going to speak. What's that now?
Pass.
Yep. Used to be a backup tight end, known for his blocking. Now he's in Miami, not here anymore.
Jack Stoll.
Yep.
Time.
Yep.
Okay. Who was the ESPN personality?
Stephen A.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All
Put that one to the bottom.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
All right. Ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Women's basketball player from LSU.
Oh. Pass. That's so many names in my head.
A penalty that commonly goes to offensive linemen.
Holding.
Yep. Sorry.
The
number 1 pick out of USC a year ago.
Out of USC a year ago.
Quarterback.
Oh, Caleb Williams.
Sorry. The edge rusher from Harrisburg on the Dallas Cowboys.
Micah Parsons.
The river in Philadelphia.
Scoop
You said you were going to be good at that.
What's that?
You said you were going to be good.
Well, I couldn't pick up the cards.
That's part of the game.
Well, you should make it virtual. That'd be easier.
I should have just designed an app. That's why I'm so lazy. All I'm doing is writing on note cards. I didn't have time to make a virtual app.
You don't have to make an app. You can make flashcards online and then literally click a button and the next one comes up.
That's so helpful to bring around to players at media night. Here, take my laptop and play this game.
You show it on your phone. You can pull the phone's the size of that card. You just click the phone and the next one comes up. That's very easy to do.
Okay, you do it.
I can do that. I'm not gonna do it now. I'm on a show.
Okay,
yeah.
well, I'm so busy.
Okay.
All right. That was a fun little end.
It was fun.
That'll do it for this episode of the PHLY Eagles podcast from Radio Row. The last one standing. We own this place. We'll be back tomorrow for Fran, Chris, Julia, Zach, Vinny,
The glasses.
Les, Jamie, Emma, everybody.